Hey everybody, we're live tonight for the Ultimate Career Leap. I'm going to give you all a second to come on, see if you're getting the notification. Last time I went live, I didn't even get notified I was live. So, let me see. I'm checking my phone too. Oh, there we go. Now I got the notification. Perfect.
Close the store.
So we are live. I'm live tonight with Kim Roxie. Give her a second, she'll pop back into the screen.
Hello, everybody.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so I'm two screening. So hopefully I'll be able to see all your comments tonight.
Yeah.
Those of you joining us, let me know who's here. Say hi, tell me where you're from. Love having all my viewers. Thank you for following. So tonight we're going to be talking about the road from employee to entrepreneur. And Kim here is the founder of MALIK Beauty. So she has a beauty line. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some of the challenges with starting a business, how you transition out from an employee to an entrepreneur, working on your exit strategy. So hopefully we get a few more people to come on. Let me just so I can see. Make sure I can see comments. Okay, that's not working. I don't see comments over there. All right, let me go back to the phone and see if I see comments now. Okay. I can see comments. All right, perfect. Okay, I guess we'll do this back on my phone because I can't see comments on the other screen. Okay, so as people come in, they'll start to say hi. Like I said, we have a few second delay, so always give people a chance to get on. So welcome. If you're new to me, I'm a career strategist and founder of the Niles Group. I help mid-level professionals and up who are ready to take their career to the next level. If you are tired, frustrated, you're counting down to Friday, you're training your replacements, you're ready for a change, I'm your girl. I've transitioned across 4 different careers. I've also transitioned into entrepreneurship. So I know about those crazy struggles, the ups and downs, the joys, and all the pains that go with it. So Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Kim Roxie. I am the founder and creator of MALIK Beauty. I started my company as a small business, a store in Houston in 2004. And I did that. I was 21 years old. And before that, I had worked at a makeup counter in the mall and went to college at Clark Atlanta University. And that started my career. I actually did not think I would be doing makeup professionally or creating makeup products. I went to school. I went to college for PR, communications, public relations, and then I also grew up playing the piano. Okay. So I thought I was going to become a famous classical pianist. That still can happen one day. But
what was your favorite piece to play?
Fur Elise, or Beethoven number, something like that. So Bach, I love Bach as well. But I thought that was going to be it. But while I was in college, I needed a job, and I worked at the makeup counter, and that's how I got into it. And so my senior year, I decided, because I didn't have a job offer, that I would start this makeup company. And 16 years later, we're still here. And now we are evolving into being a beauty tech-enabled company, using e-commerce and technology to make it better for women to buy makeup online than in person. And just a better shopping experience, period. No matter if it's in person or online. And we know that for women that look like myself and like you, that, finding makeup may not be the easiest thing to do. just because a matter of shades and all that. And then if you look at the ingredients inside the makeup that's marketed to us are 75% more toxic. And so I just wanted to create something that we could use, that we could not have to sacrifice our health for beauty, but not have to sacrifice having beauty options as well. So,
Okay.
so that's here.
All right. Sorry, we just had a little trouble connecting. Give it a second here.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. I had a little bit of technical difficulty. Sorry about that. So, Hannah, she likes your hat, and she loves fur.
Oh, thank you.
She likes that.
Oh, good, good, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. No comments yet on Facebook. Still over here on LinkedIn. Perfect. Perfect. So you were a student. You were working at the makeup counter, and you didn't get a job offer. So that must have been like, oh my God, now what? Right? Like you just had to kind of. So you basically figured out an opportunity for yourself because you didn't have a job.
Exactly. It's one of those things where, you know, you don't get creative sometimes until your back is up against the wall, right? And I think sometimes we never want our back up against the wall. Like, who wants to be down to their last dollar or their last, feel like their last option? But sometimes those are the most innovative type of environments, because it makes you dig deeper and it makes you go harder, or it makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do if you were comfortable. And so I think that was the blessing of it. Even though in the moment it didn't feel like it, it would have felt much better to have a job offer, to go on an interview, get a job somewhere. But to be honest, LAMIK would have maybe never came about if that would have happened.
Right, right. And that's true. Sometimes when your back is to the wall, then risk is like, you just have to take a risk. It's not, I think when you have that safety net, people are always afraid to take a risk. But when you're at the bottom, it's like, where else can I go but up? I might as well take a risk.
Yeah, so, and I think that sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I love this conversation we're having right now, because I don't know if the conversation sometimes goes to this part enough. Sometimes it's always like, oh, look, they overcame that. But let's get into that, though. Let's just get into the rock bottom moment and how the idea and the force that it makes you do, you would have never done if you had all the resources and had it all. You would have never done it. Like, or if you had someone to take care of you or whatever, I'm just putting different scenarios out there. You would have never really done it. And so it's actually, believe me, I know, because I still go through them, but nobody ever wants the hardships. But the hardships is where all the magic happens a lot of times. But I mean,
yes, that is, that is a good point, because everybody likes to gloss over the hardships. They want to know how you got out the hardships. Oh, well, how did you come back? But they don't understand like that grit that comes from being at rock bottom, where there is no place to go but up. When you're like, I do this and I eat this, or I'm just going to starve. It's such a different.
I'm just sitting up here while you're thinking. I'm thinking about the fact that it makes you like, here recently, a moment that I can think about having that same type of feeling was a couple months back when, in the fall of last year, or the end of summer, fall of last year, I did a rewards-based crowdfunding campaign for my company, because I never raised capital for my company or did anything like that. So now, that's what I'm doing. I'm going that route on raising capital and doing all those things so we can build a bigger company. And I wanted to show that our audience would invest in us building the company. So I wanted to do a crowdfunding campaign to show that we could raise money within our community. Well, I wanted to do it, but did I really want to do the work that it took to do it? No, I just wanted to do it. I wanted the outcome. I didn't want the work. I wanted the outcome though. And so for a long time, I just sat on that. I want the outcome, but I'm never executed because I didn't want to do the work. I got to a point to where I kept getting told no by investors, and I wanted to prove to them that this audience wanted it. And it got to the point to where it was like, either you do it or, or nothing else. And I went ahead and did it because of the place that I had gotten to. That my back was kind of up against the wall, and I had to. That was my only option, really, to be honest. And at the moment, and so again, for anybody watching, it may not be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, but or it might have already happened before and it's resonating with you. But we know in those hardships, in those moments, it's not coming to break you; it's coming to really build you. Yeah. But you gotta kind of come into that a little bit, to get it.
Like, it isn't about breaking you; it is about kind of pushing you more. And sometimes really close to your goal, and then all the obstacles start to hit, but they're not to break you. It's like to make sure you're ready for it.
Yeah,
it's keep pushing you forward. So we got a hi from hey Sylvia, hi Anthony. Thank you all for joining.
Hi Anthony, hi Sylvia.
So it's so interesting that you say that. Like, I like that you say that, because it is true. Like, we think this moment is just going to break us. But like, for me, I know, like, with everything that was going on in my life, like 2 years ago with losing my mom suddenly, like, that should have broken me, but it didn't. I just used my grief as my fuel. And I was like, she's always been part of my why. And that doesn't change, and it was just kind of remembering that. And then it was just like, then I just kept saying yes to myself and yes to what I wanted. Yes to my legacy. Yes to what I wanted, the impact that I want to make. And then obstacles would come up, and as I called, the mountains would come up, like, just move right out the way. Ain't got time. And the mountains moved. It was like, okay, I could be stuck, I can be down, or I'm just going to keep going forward and see what happens. Sometimes it's like, do I stay or do I go? Like, even like, I just came back from Curacao, and before I went, like, things got a little crazy for me, and I was like, do I stay or do I go? And I was like, if I stay, I'm not going to be happy. I have to go. And I went. It's just like, this obstacle is just going to have to fix itself. We're going to move this mountain, and I'm going. And I went, and I don't regret it. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. My energy is like, whew, it's like a whole frequency. But it was like, it is just like that. And I like how you took your, well, I could not find a job, and just wallow and sit home and be like, woe is me, and turned it into, let me figure this out. I think that's a good message for a lot of people. If I have any like students watching, like, that's a great message for you all. If you can't find a job, create it.
Create your job. Definitely. Employ yourself. And I commend you. Today I was thinking about how I still kind of go through it in regards to my mom. My mom made her transition and passed away 5 years ago. And so to hear you say that, you persevered through and everything, I commend you for that, because when you have and it's still, and you still have to, hopefully keep living, right? And you have to still pursue that peace, right? And that relationship that it takes. And so it's not a day goes by that, I don't actively think about my mother. And so I think that, we share that sort of overcoming that resilience, and living with our moms, and then definitely pushing us and still cheerleading for us. But yeah, definitely, like, even it's not something that you get over and then you just like, it could come up at any time, and so I think I definitely commend you for even bringing that up, and you're letting it drive you.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just like, when those moments come, and, when you're grieving anybody, you're going to have moments, and you just have to just take the moment, instead of just trying to fight it. You just have to take it and just kind of keep going with it. So, and I just think she's always been part of my why. And I was like, I want to still make her proud. So that's what I do. Like, it's funny, the sweater, sweater.
Say it again.
I said the sweater I'm wearing, this was hers.
Wow.
So it was like one of the things that I kept. I was like, okay, you know, I like the sweater. So I was like, all right, I'm going to keep this, you know, and it's just like, you know, even the chair I'm sitting in, like, I love this chair, and this was her chair. And it helps when I need to be inspired. I come sit and like I create, you know, working space around this chair. I put a new desk here, everything, you know, but it's just like, but that's how I keep going, you know. And people have asked me recently, like, how do you deal with risk or how do you persevere? And I'm like, when you take the risk, you take the leap of faith, you just have to take it, you know, because you already know what the goal is. So whatever the opportunity is that you're weighing out, you know what your life looks like without it.
Yeah.
So you might as well it looks like with it. And if it doesn't work out, you already know what it looks like. So I don't, you know, it's not hard to go back to what it was. You already know, but you don't regret, and you don't have to be like, well, I'm always going to wonder. I wonder, and I wonder, and you know, I wonder if I would have done that. I wonder. You don't have to wonder. At least you know what? I tried it. I did it, and that's something like you don't even do. You know, there's so many people out there that start a beauty line and want to start a fashion thing. You know, they want to start their own thing, and they are so afraid to do it. And here you are from, okay, a student, like, well, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm working at makeup centers, but I'm just gonna go for it. So tell me a little bit about that for you. Like, what inspired you? I would say besides like trying to find stuff that wasn't toxic, stuff that matched you, but then like, what else was it that got you started?
I mean, we have to bring it back to the mothers. You know, I I want to show you a picture if I can of actually what I might do is flip it. This is me and my mom here.
Nice.
When I was young. And this was a Mother's Day card I had wrote her to number one mom from Kim. And so that's a picture of us. But when you think about what drives me is, you know, knowing that the sacrifices that my parents have made and that my mom really, oh my gosh, my mom, this was her dream. My mom loved makeup. My mom, she embodied what LAMIK stands for, which is love and makeup and kindness. And basically, love and kindness is your true makeup. To me, that's the definition of beauty, love and kindness. And she embodied that. And so, coming into, like you said, knowing about the ingredients, creating colors that show up on our skin, and then the customers. Once I started meeting the customers, and oh man, it drives the heck out of me right now. Like I still every day. I mean, anytime you're an entrepreneur, you continually take risks. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's think that we take risks one time to start a company, and then that's the only risk you don't take the whole time.
Yeah, no.
No. No. The risks are every day. The risks are continual. The risks are continual. So I just want to kind of clear that up a little bit, because sometimes I get so many questions about how you start. And I'm telling you, the hard part is how you continue. The easy part is starting.
You know what? That is a good point, because then you're like, okay, how do I scale? How do I keep going? Do I rebrand this? How do I market that? You know what? This website is just trash. How will we operate with this trash? Let's redo.
You got my head spinning just talking about it.
Definitely.
It's like that's the real stuff. It's almost like somebody saying, "Oh, you got married," and you throw like this huge wedding for getting married. I love what I heard Jada Pickett say recently. She was like, some of these weddings should actually be the thing you do at 20 years or 30 years worth of marriage. You know, it's like you're starting off celebrating something you haven't even accomplished yet. And so when we talk about starting a business, sometimes we're congratulating ourselves. I mean, yes, you can congratulate for starting, but it's the leaps that you continually take, the ultimate leaps that you continually take every day in your business that really, to me, that really over the years that it should be celebrated.
Right. And listen, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. Like, I never thought I would be doing this. I never saw myself with like my own little show, having guests, having conversations with people. Like, this was not in my vision.
Doing it. And
Right?
you doing it.
And I'm like, okay, I got this opportunity. So I was like, well, LinkedIn decided to give me live. All right. So I'm going to highlight other people. Like, I know a lot of people don't have live yet. So I'm like, I don't just want to be talking to you people all the time. Let's make this exciting. Let's have good conversations. Let's highlight and celebrate the micro wins. We always love those macro wins, but it's those micro wins. If you got up and made that leap today, congratulations. Like, that's the micro win. If you decided I'm done messing with this website, I'm finally just gonna publish it. Because I know I need to do that. I've been trying to update my website for like the last 4 months.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it now live. I am going to change my website. By next week, it's gonna be done. By next week, no matter what, I'm just gonna officially.
What day?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Next Friday is the 20th.
Is it the 20th?
Next Friday is the 20th, right?
Yes, next Friday is the 20th. So by the 20th, you will see a new site for me. The one I have up there is old now. I'm going to change out the site. I've already started it. I just have to finish the content. So somebody hold me to that. Matt, Hannah, one of you guys, because I know you'll definitely reach out to me on that, by then. Put it on your calendar to remind me to make sure my website, the new site, is live.
Okay, we're gonna check with you on the 20th, and we're gonna check the
20th.
Is live.
Check the website. So I'll post. I'll be like, I did it, and I'll put the link in there so you guys can be accountable to that. And that's another thing with business, right? You got to have somebody that holds you accountable. Somebody that's like, are you doing what you say you're going to do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's important too. That's how you also keep going.
That's how a lot of times that's how you can tell people that get things done. Most of the time they have accountability type of partners or someone.
Yes.
Because execution happens let's say things are accomplished with dates attached to them. Things are done with dates, and then things are accounted for through your accountability partners. I definitely believe in them. I just was on the phone with one of mine today, who's a team member, but then also accountability partner, somebody who has the right to say to me, that didn't get done. This did get done. Why didn't that get done? Waiting on the answer, versus me just saying, oh, I'll just do it later, oh, I'll get to it. No, they're like, so what? And so then you already know they kind of get on my nerves sometimes. So I'm kind of like, I said I was going to do it. And they're like, but what date did you say you? Because that last date you didn't do it. Yeah.
It's not done. Yeah.
And you got to respect it. Like,
but you need that. You need that.
You definitely
you need somebody to be like, so where you at? What's going on? What happened? And you're like, but
somebody tell you the truth. Somebody tell you the truth.
Yep. I have a couple of those. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this conversation. I'm gonna do this. They're like, so V, where you at? And I'm like, doing it right now. Because I don't want to have to be like, I didn't do it. So yeah, that's that's important too. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask a question. I am checking here comments. I do have to keep refreshing to see your comments, but I am checking for them. Oh, here we go. See, look at that. Now I got comments. All right. So Matt says that is so true. We were just having a conversation of consistency. The challenge of starting is fun, and he laughed. That's true. Yes, we were having that conversation, and he is going to hold you to that date with the website. Good.
Because we need the website. It's other people that's going to benefit from it.
Yeah, I have it. I have a website. It's just I want to change it because some things that are on there right now I'm not currently doing. So it's not current with what I'm doing. So I've been changing it. So Matt said accountability partners are cool. You keep me going more than you know. Oh, you're welcome. I didn't know that. And Hannah said she's going to quote you, Kim. Starting a business should be celebrated, yes, but it's also the continued leaps we take on an ongoing basis that should more so be celebrated because starting is the easy part. Continuing is the real challenge. That's a good one. Yes.
It is. And that's the reason why I like to actually talk about a lot of times what's going on currently in my business or in my head as a founder, or the things that I'm coming up this now because again, like, you know, the previous years, yeah, that's how I started this and that. But then, you know, what about right now? I mean, you know, you look at, I follow some of the stories of entrepreneurs and founders and stuff like that. And yeah, it's the part where I really get really make a big impression on me is how you're able to continue, how you're able to overcome some circumstances. A friend of mine who I'm always so moved by, Miko Branch from Miss Jessie's, you know, her co-founder, and when she had to overcome or, you know, keep pressing in pursuit, and in love of her sister, who I know she holds dearly, who helped her start the company. Like those are founders, and I'm like, man, like that's just amazing. Like you able to do that. Like hearing other founders, and I mean, I think that mental health is a really important topic to talk about when you talk about entrepreneurs, because you know the same person who is really fearless about starting a company or keeping a company going and taking those risks sometimes are just as much as at risk of um, of mental health challenges.
Right.
And
The
I think
burnout,
that
the
we have,
anxiety. Yeah.
yeah, we have to kind of talk about how do you manage the leaps. So
Yeah.
since you're having to take risks a lot and you're having to leap out there and you're having to try different things, um, understanding how do you manage that. So for me, I'll give you some of my tips for managing. One is, I remember I had a complete like meltdown, breakdown, a couple years into being in business, and one would assume it was just because I was working 7 days a week. Oh, you're working so much, you know. When I was, because when it was happening, I couldn't talk to anybody. I was
Right.
isolated for a couple by myself, because I was just so foggy and couldn't see the break of day, to be honest. And um, after I came out of it, some would make me think that, oh, you work too much, you're working 7 days a week, this and that. I was working like mall hours, which is every day from
Right.
morning to night, this and that. But honestly, that wasn't so much the issue. The tip that I learned to be able to manage is it wasn't that I was doing all that and I was taking leaps and all that. It was the fact that I was trying to drink alcohol and I was trying to do some things that were not, and I think drinking alcohol had a lot to do with it, were not nice to my body.
Right.
So though because I was working and I was working in an area where I was loving what I was doing, all of that kind of good stuff. With the drinking part and all that, I couldn't participate. I couldn't do all that plus and think that anxiety wasn't going to build up and all that. Like it wasn't going to work out. And so for me, managing that was stop drinking. And um and that took away a lot
Right.
of those bad kind of feelings and thoughts that I had. So again, you have to know how to manage for your lifestyle. Everybody, that might not be the answer, but I'm just being transparent because I think that it's important that we sometimes get to the root of a problem,
Right.
so then we can be able to better facilitate lifestyles for ourselves as an
Right.
entrepreneur.
I think for me, it was just making sure there was self care, that I still had to care about me, making sure my health was right, and just taking downtime. Sometimes I need to just Netflix and chill by myself, right? I just need to just unwind and completely relax, And so when I was away, um, the best thing for me to do was go to the beach. When I was in Curacao, I would just be like, okay, I didn't always have a car because it was busy season, which made it difficult at times. When I had a car, the first thing I would do was go for a drive. I would go like half an hour away, go someplace high up with a beautiful view, maybe watch the sunset, or just go to the beach and just get in the water. And the water was so tranquil for me, and everything would just fall out of my head. and it would just kind of just go, I just kind of just be in the water, just kind of chilling. And then I go back on the beach for a bit. Then so much clarity would come to me, and it was just like all those things, especially when you're like contemplating a couple of different options and you're like, I don't know which one to go with. It's just like such clarity. And so like, that was my thing. Like I realized I have to have that self-care in my life so I don't feel the burnout. So I don't feel like, that was for me. So asked, how do you keep from becoming complacent with where you are?
Good question. Say it again.
I said he asked good questions, and he said in the opposite, is there a level you will be happy with your progress and choose to let your growth maintain itself and start to enjoy the fruits of your labor? So I think you're always, but I think his question might be like,
say it again.
I said for me, I think you always enjoy the progress, and there's a where you're fine with where you're at, and then kind of more of your growth becomes organic. But I think he's just asking, like, how do you keep from becoming complacent with where you are? And then is there a level that you're happy at with that? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll take the first part first and then probably answer that question. But how do you not come complacent is, I think the calling that you have for what you're doing and what you're working on, the problem that you're solving, makes you not complacent. I think the disparities that are in this world and the injustices that are happening and the lack of equity that's happening for groups of people, the calling is too strong for me to be complacent. That's just, to be honest, that's just kind of what it is. That's what wakes me up in the morning. Like, that's what drives me. And yeah, the calling is kind of what makes me not complacent, because of the things that I see in the world and how much needs to, improve. It makes it so I can't even be complacent. It's like, oh, you think all this okay? This what's happening in the world? You think it's all right? And it's like, actually, I don't. And so that's what keeps me on the ground. And then what was the second question?
So the second part was, is there a level where you will be happy with your progress and choose to let your growth maintain itself and start to enjoy the fruits of your labor?
It's funny enough. I had sort of evolved my company over the past 2 years. I've been working on this, and I've probably been living off the fruit of the labor from the first 14 years of the company. And so that question actually hits home to me tonight in a special way, because I had asked myself kind of this question, because I thought that, like, recently I got an acknowledgement, and I was kind of like, they're acknowledging me, giving me an award or whatever the case might be. And I kind of was reminded, like, Kim, you're living off of the blessings and the seeds you sown like a decade ago. Like, you're living off of that. And sometimes we're so used to always doing something. And the revelation I've had is to be more than I do. And so
you said to be more than you do.
The revelation I've had is to be more than I do.
Got it.
So to be more than you do.
Right.
It's almost like asking somebody, how are you being? Like, how are you being? Like, how are you being versus how are you doing? Like, what you doing? Like, it's always like, I was gonna be doing something. And I think that you don't always have to be doing something for things to be working, number one. I'm a strong believer that God is like working on my behalf, even when I'm not working. I believe that the relationships and the things that I've, been working on, are people are speaking about me in rooms that I'm not in. And there are supporters that are there that are speaking up for me, and sponsors and mentors and friends that are speaking up for me. So I don't have to try to be everywhere at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm different places because I'm in their hearts and in their minds to speak of. And I totally believe that, because, and so to say that when you get to a level and kind of live up, it's not so much that I personally feel like, I've gotten to that level. It's just that when it was time for me to do some groundwork kind of stuff, some work that took some back end work, not the front end work. So the front end work is, the stuff you're doing where everybody can see it and that. But sometimes you have to do that back end work. And to yourself, you're feeling like you almost might feel like you're going backwards because you're like, I have to go back and be a student to this or whatever. I need to learn this. But actually, those are the times, like for me, right? I've gotten over the past 2 years where I've been making this transition in my business, and I've been working towards evolving my business. I've gotten more awards. And I'm like, what am I getting an award for? And people are flying me here and flying me there to give me awards for the things I've done. They're like, oh no, we've been watching you and we've been seeing this. And I'm just like, wow. So again, what you see is progress somebody else might see, you know what I mean? So it's just being open to that and understanding that it's not, you do good work, it will come from.
That's a great response to that. So Matt had said he loves that answer, the passion keeps you going. And that's another great quote, be more than you do. And how are you being instead of what are you doing? And Hannah agrees. She likes that one too. Yeah, that's why I want you to say it again. I was like, wait, let me make sure we all heard that right. I like that. That's definitely a good one. Be more than you do. That's gold right there. That's gold.
Yeah, because it might come a time where you're not able to do. And people. I heard you use a word earlier about you being the legacy of your mom and the legacy of, what I'm saying. It'll be a time where, you won't be able to do, but who you are, who you've been, and who you be to people, they'll you won't have to do nothing else. It's like everything you did for us, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of place I think that we start to walk into, and there's, hopefully we'll get old one day, right? And we can't run like that, right? Or even to your point, of you want to go on the beach, it has to be, about who you are. And I think that you're on track on that, but yeah.
That I am. Thank you. That gave me chills the way you said that. I love that. Like, yes, it is like that legacy, that impact. I know my sister-in-law had posted on LinkedIn about her why, which is my niece was part of her why. And I was like, and she's also part of my why, because I don't have any kids. So I have one niece and 3 nephews and some great nieces. So, it's like, for me, my legacy isn't necessarily the kids that I have, since I don't have any, but it's the people I want to impact. I want to be able to get to a point that, like, my goddaughter needs something, it's just like, here, she's in college now, and maybe if she wants to go to grad school, I can be like, hey, grad school, don't take out loans. Here you go. Like, just go. Because that was my first baby girl, because she's the oldest one.
Exactly.
But it's just like to be able to have that legacy, so that, if somebody in my family is like, I want to start a business and I need a little seed money, since it is so hard for us to get funding, right? Let's talk about that for a second, right? It's so hard for women entrepreneurs to get money, and it's even harder being a Black woman to get money, right?
Even though
it's hard for us, period, as Black people to get funding. But right now, since you're a female, I'm going to talk about how it is for, you said you didn't do, any venture capital money, and then you ended up crowdfunding.
Yeah. So to your point, Black History Month is in February. I'm Black first, and then March is Women's History Month. Then I'm a woman, right? So it comes in order. I'm Black first, and then a woman. The way this society puts it. But so as a Black woman, our 0.002% of venture capital goes to Black women. However, I have gotten a venture capital firm to do a pre-seed round for my company. So I've already applied some odds there, because the average Black woman only raises $36,000 for her venture, where the average white male raises $1.2 million. And so,
wait, say that again, because that's a big difference. 36 versus how much?
The average Black woman raises $36,000 for her venture, where white male on average raises $1.2 million.
Whew. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. However, um, and Bloomberg just put out an article, and it was a study done by the Kaufman Institute, I believe, that talks about that diverse founders, which means people of color, actually um, operate companies better, and in regards to like returns. Um, we do really well on those. And then as well as we raise better in later stages. So we actually do raise better at later stages. It's the first round of funding, that pre-seed, seed, Series A, but then, after that, after Series A, we usually get to Series B, Series C, we usually raise better. And that's because, again, the people who usually get funded, in regards to people of color, are the cream of the crop, right? In most cases. And because it's not easy, they usually take advantage of what they have and utilize it well, and they do it really good on with their capital. They're capital efficient, and so returns are better. So the data shows that we're not raising, but it doesn't make any sense because we're more profitable. So I think it's just a grand opportunity for people to get in. I mean, and be able to get in on a profitable problem that's happening.
So Matt said, "Call time to start raising some capital because he's a white man."
Say it again.
So Matt said, he said it's time to start raising some capital with a laughing face because he's a white male.
So, hey, we can talk. We can talk.
He's a very, very smart guy. Like, he's probably too smart for his own good.
We can talk, Matt. We can talk.
He definitely knows some stuff there. He's a little minor genius and just tries not to act like it.
I love it.
Good. Yeah. Matt and I have some interesting conversations around different things. So yeah, definitely connect with Matt. Conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, I knew the stats were big, but I didn't know like big of a difference because I didn't go to raise capital for my business. I mean, it's a service-based business. It's harder to get money for service-based businesses anyway, business where I did, at least learn the whole process for getting funding. So I didn't even bother this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna kind of bootstrap it and do what I need to do. And, just kind of started really pushing my services more, got myself a business coach and, just really been growing out my business, got that clarity. And that once I don't know, for me, once I took that time to just really sit and refocus and go, okay, this is this one will work. This is my fourth business. So I was like, this one will work better than the other because I don't know if it was just my mindset was different. I don't know what the whole package was for me, but I just knew, and there was no denying the belief that this was the one.
You do it.
I just knew it. And I was like, this is it. This is what's going to do.
Yeah.
Which is $1.2 million.
Tell Matt, look me up on LinkedIn, Kim Roxie.
Okay, see no comments over there. Okay, cool, perfect.
And I would like to tell the audience. I like to tell the audience if they want more information about MALIK Beauty, which I hope they do. Is lamikbeauty.com. So it's LAMIK beauty.com. It's an acronym, stands for love and makeup and kindness. LAMIK beauty.com.
That's great. I love it. I put it into the chat box so people can see it.
Try our brow kit. I think you love it.
Matt said he'd be happy to connect, so I'm sending you a request.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, so out of your beauty products, what's like some of your best sellers? Like what are some of your best sellers and what are you on that people can look forward to?
Yeah, so our best seller is our brow kit, our celebrity brow kit. Sorry, I'm like, can you see my eyebrows?
Yes.
Our celebrity brow kit is our best seller. It comes with the brow powder, the little highlighting cream, and the brow brush to do it. What we have coming up next is, I'm so excited. I get to announce it on your show first, because we have a launch event this weekend. But it is the virtual augmented reality virtual makeup try on. So you'll be able to try your brow kit on without ever touching a physical product, without opening up any packaging, and without all the guesswork. We took all the guesswork out for you to be able to try it on through augmented reality. It is amazing.
That's really, wow. That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. And I'm so excited. I'm even excited right now, even with what's going on in the world in regards to us trying to stay, hygiene efficient and all of that. I'm like, some people might be a little leery about trying on makeup at makeup counters right now. But just imagine you can try it on online without ever touching the makeup. And then when you get the makeup, it's your own makeup and that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's going to definitely wow some people. Let's see. See if we got any comments on that one. Give them a minute. I know it's a few seconds delay on our side. Yeah, Matt says that sounds really innovative. Probably soon to be the new standard. Let's see. Anybody on this side?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one. I think especially now with everybody scared with the virus, huge. Sorry, I'm trying to get this other side to refresh to see if we got any more comments.
You're fine.
This one. That's going to be a big one. And now we got feedback. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, sometimes with all this technology, you got to refresh to make sure we're not missing anything.
Okay. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yes. And Matt said he's going to connect with you right after the show.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, this has been an interesting conversation. I like how we talked about so many different aspects of entrepreneurship, and for some people, so I'm talking, you didn't really have to have an exit strategy because you kind of started from the point of you didn't have a job. But at some point you before you transitioned to full-time, right? With your business, or did you just start full-time?
I started full-time.
Started full-time. Okay.
Yeah. So now I think about exit strategy as just a business owner.
Right.
And that's why I started to evolve my company, because I'm thinking about, what's the exit strategy.
Gotcha. Now, if you're in a career and you're looking for an exit strategy, you should kind of be thinking about your business and how you want to get it started, and start it while you have that income. Now I know that's the ideal thing. Like, oh, wait till your business is at a certain level, then transition out. It does not work like that. Because I tried that. I started that, and then I got laid off. And I was like, all right, so I'm just going to do my business. So, and honestly, I got laid off from it was like budget cuts for this one job I was at. And I was like, sweet. Now it's like now or never. I might as well start my business. And then I did pick up another job just because I was like, all right, I it was like an abrupt change in my income. So let me go back to work. And then that one, I was just like, this is just not a good fit. So I ended up leaving that job. But after that, I was like, all right, it's full time for me and my business. And then I just made certain sacrifices and certain decisions that probably should have did things differently, but I never do anything easy. So I was like, I'm just going to, make the sacrifice, do what I do, because I wanted to focus more on my passion. But if you're working and you're saving up the money, put some money aside so that you can pay bills for a couple of months while you're working your business, so that when your business gets to a certain point, your income doesn't shift so far down.
Yeah. And I was about to say, and right now we're seeing ideal situations, right? But what I love about you is that you're saying, hey, mine didn't have an ideal situation. And I think that that's more common than it is not uncommon.
Right.
And so, I know we like to give best practices, but sometimes you have to also tell people that sometimes it worked that way. And you still have to persevere through that. And you might go get another job. And then, it really makes you, or you don't even get hired, and it makes you really thrust yourself into this business and end up making it work. So I love the fact that you're not selling people fantasies that, oh, this and it'll go just like that. And so you're saving all the money, and then you'll know exactly, it may not work like that.
No. There's, as I say, I don't do the pie in the sky coaching strategy type of thing. That's not me. I go through like scenarios, and I go from worst case to best case, and like whatever happens in between to know, okay, this could be a possibility.
It's a possibility, and it's okay. And it's okay.
Yeah, like some people think, I got to wait to this perfect time, and there's no such thing as a perfect time. There's no such thing. People are like, my kids and I got to wait for this new job. Like, what does that have to do with any of that? Like, nothing. It's just excuses. You just have to stop giving yourself the excuses, especially if you're using other people or you're using your family as that excuse. Make them your reason why instead of the excuse. And then you find, once you say yes and you commit to like, yes, this is something I want to do, you will find the way. You will find the time to make it happen. When you're like, I don't have any time, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Break. You know how much work I used to do on lunch break for my business? Like, let me get stuff started. When I was recruiting on my own, I would take jobs that were like in California just so I could call people after work because of the time difference. Right? My lunch it's 9 a.m. over there on my lunch break. So let me make some calls. Like you will figure it out. Yeah. Matt asked, so is this a website or app that they can use to test the colors from their own home?
This is a website. It's not an app, but it's a sub website on our site. So it'll be launching this weekend, but you'll be able to do it from your mobile device. It's just not an app. You don't have to download anything.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you don't have to download anything. All you do is you'll be able to go to our website and go right to it.
Okay, perfect. If anybody else have any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't be shy. This is your chance to ask. Even if you're like, I'm thinking about starting and I'm not really sure, just go for it. Ask a question. All right, let me see if we got any more comments. Okay, nope, I think that's the last one I got in. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's no real perfect scenario. We lost Kim. Okay. Hopefully she'll pop back on, so I'll wait. She can definitely pop back in. She's got the link to come back. Oh, she's coming back now. Hold on.
Sorry about that.
Here we go. No problem.
I love this.
But yeah,
I love this software that you use.
Yeah, this is StreamYard. It's like, this is what LinkedIn recommended. So
and
good. You can stream on it. So I'm using this for here and Facebook. Simple enough. But yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, ask your questions. Don't be afraid to ask. You talk to entrepreneurs. I've worked in 4 different industries and still, like, for me, I always knew working for somebody else was not my dream. Whenever I had a job, I was always like, okay, if I want to move up, I'm going to move up just to get more money so I can bank some money so I can work on my business. Like, that was always somewhere in my head. Just let me do that. I've done different things, and it's just like, I like multiple streams of income because I paid off enough to know, when you get budget cuts, especially because I was a consultant, when you're on a project and budget cuts happen, you're out. We hit a recession like 2008. A lot of people didn't survive that recession. A lot of people got laid off. So if you survive the recession, then you need more than one stream of income. Just because if something happens again, now what?
Yep.
Then and sometimes when you hit that rock bottom, that's when inspiration strips, and you're like, you know what? I'm a good cook. I'm gonna go do lunch meals to the construction site people. Let me start doing that. Let me start a food truck. Like, you start someplace. I'm gonna do some small catering things, get this bigger. My goal is to get a food truck. And just kind of work, you start to kind of figure out, well, what can I do? What do I love? Where's my inspiration? And even if you don't know right now, or if you have multiple projects or multiple ideas, it's okay. You just got to start with one. You get one going, then you can switch.
That's true. That's true.
Everybody in Hollywood, everybody's an actor, and then plus they got this, that, and the other. Everybody knows you need multiple streams of income. Because what if you're no longer the hot actor of the decade? Right? So same thing. You could be the best project manager around, but then if the company closes, what are you going to do? So you gotta figure that out. So
I think that's great advice.
Doing beauty.
Also what I'm doing, the other thing I'm doing is helping women entrepreneurs get to resources. If it wasn't for beauty, I would never, if I was an entrepreneur, I wouldn't know the challenge it is for us. And so I do a lot of programming around getting women entrepreneurs to resources. I probably would be somewhere like running I don't know, an accelerator, or maybe like an incubator, coming up with a program, or like facilitating some, something where I'm connecting, like still in the people's business in some kind of way, probably, or a classical pianist. I could do that too.
Okay.
That's what I would be doing too.
We'd be doing perfect. So we got questions. Hannah says, what's the first thing that comes to mind when a challenge pops up? Our other question was, do you have a go-to strategy approaching those? So what
Say that again?
comes to mind what first comes to mind when a challenge pops up?
Oh, when a challenge pops up, what's the first thing comes to mind? Probably just trying to pull it apart to see if it's really a challenge or not. Sometimes it might seem like it's a challenge, but it might just be an opportunity.
Right.
Or sometimes it's a challenge, and again, just kind of pulling it apart a little bit. Versus, that's what I kind of think. I sometimes when a challenge comes, I'm like, okay, then I'm like, all right, let me dig deep. Let me dig deep inside of it. Versus, again, being moved by it, because I might be building myself up for something that's not really what it is, So I think a lot of times I'm kind of like, let me look deeper or dig deeper into what this is.
Right. So you kind of go from the head first, then the heart, before you get to about the challenge. It's like, wait, let's really see, is this a challenge? What is it?
Right. What is it? What is it about? Just kind of digging deeper into it. And then what was the second question?
Do you have a go-to strategy approaching those challenges? But I guess it's the digging deeper.
It's the digging deeper. I'm always praying. I'm always praying. I'm always, reading my devotion throughout the day. Personally, that's what I do. But then also, again, like I said, pulling it apart, taking it and saying, if I think this is a challenge, where, how. I ask those questions. I almost ask it as if it was, if I was trying to explain it to someone else. So if I was trying to explain to you what was the challenge, how would I say what that is? So just kind of extracting it a little bit so I can get down to it.
Okay, makes sense. As he asked, were you considering an app and a couple other things, but I have a conversation with Matt because he had a couple of ideas in there for you, so you can see those in the comments. Otherwise, just have a conversation with Matt.
Good.
So I think does that answer your question, Hannah? That's a pretty good one. That's what I do too. I would definitely kind of look at the challenge and then just go with it and be like, all right, so let me run through my scenarios of how I can play this out, and then pick one and start. That's the thing. I always look at all the pictures. I have to see the big thing, and I'm like, all right. And then I'm also like, is this actually a challenge, or is it just, something a little different?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. Yeah.
And sometimes you can even throw it on a whiteboard. You can whiteboard it.
Yeah. Let me see if that answers her question. Okay. Well, do we have any other questions? I'll give them a couple of seconds to a minute for that, because we are approaching our hour mark. So I'll take, one last question. Because I don't know about you, but I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet.
I am very hungry, and I was up since the crack of dawn, so I'm a bit sleepy as well. It's time to recharge this battery with some food and rest.
Okay. Hannah said thank you. She thought it was a silly question. And then Matt said no such thing. Yeah, no, that wasn't a silly question. It was a good question.
It wasn't silly. It wasn't silly. I mean, to be honest, you start to build up emotional intelligence that you don't break down on every challenge that comes up.
Right.
Because it's hard to see the sunny outcome that can end up happening. But I'm talking to myself as well, because I'm not going to act like I never be like, grabbing my head, like, what's going on? Because I do that, but then I again try to pull it apart to kind of see
Right.
what's really happening here. Okay, South by Southwest got canceled. I had so many
Right.
events.
I saw that.
Yeah, I had events planned for that. I was a speaker. I was going to announce our new technology. But again, am I going to wallow? No, it's like a big opportunity for me. So I got to just go in on that.
Well, now you could just kind of do a video announcement, go live, do a couple of different things. I was supposed to speak like at 3 things this month that have all now gone virtual. So I need to practice my talk for tomorrow. I'm talking for Disrupt HR in New York City tomorrow, and it's now a virtual event that they're live streaming.
So we're all having to get with the program.
Yeah, I was actually so I'm postponing my speaker tour, just because since so many people are canceling different things and don't want to go outside, I'm going to do some virtual stuff myself. But I had planned on Dallas in May, in Dallas. Well, unless the things change, I'll switch it up and still come back to Dallas, if the world gets back to calm.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think we need to just practice a really high level of hygiene across the world, and we probably have less outbreaks of stuff. But that's just my personal opinion. But stay vigilant out there.
Yeah.
Make sure we don't have any last minute questions. But so I'll be doing a couple of virtual things as well. All right. Well, I don't have questions, but it's great having you, Kim. I've enjoyed our conversation. Thank you, everybody who watched. Thank you for your support for Ultimate Career Leap. Thank you for my followers and my connections. Probably I passed 3,000 a little while ago and didn't even know it. So thank you, everybody. Yeah. So have a great night. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I'm going to check out your website and check out some of your products. Actually, I think I have some of your products. If I probably look, or I've used them before. I probably have and not even realized it.
And I even realized it. That's the beautiful part.
That's the beautiful part. Now you be like, hey.
Yes, y'all keep taking leaps. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody. Hannah, everybody that was on there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo.